If it's Wednesday, it's Hump Day Hangover. Greetings everyone, I'm Bart, the Success Educator, and today's episode is the second in our three-part series entitled Hashtag Never Give Up. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee, or join me with a cocktail, and let's get started. This is Hump Day Hangover. This week we continue our celebration of overcoming obstacles and creating success. Now last week I shared with you 14 different stories of people and or companies that maybe were told they weren't good enough or that their ideal would never work, but they never took no for an answer. Instead, when one door was closed, either they opened a new one or they built a new one. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you 15 more inspiring stories. These are folks who decided that they would adopt the philosophy of never give up. Now today's episode, as with all, come from my best-selling book, My Moment to Succeed. Go out to my website, successeducator.com. There you'll find a link out to Amazon. Order your book there. I'll be happy to personalize it for you and to autograph it. But let's get back to our topic of hashtag never give up, our second episode. Now the following are people and or companies who, as I mentioned, faced obstacles and faced setbacks. But they knew that a setback was a setup for a comeback. So I challenge you today to see the parallels in where they were and where you are and where you're headed. So let's get started. Hashtag never give up. The first person I'm profiling is James Ivory. James Ivory is an American film director, producer, and screenwriter. He won the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for Call Me By Your Name. Now what is so profound about James, and he is someone that I truly admire and look up to, is this was his first nomination in this category, and he won it at the age of 89. He became the oldest ever winner in any category. Again, James Ivory, Best Adapted Screenplay for the movie Call Me By Your Name. Next up is Jewel. Jewel was living in a small house in Alaska without plumbing. She sang in local bars with her father to make money. And after high school, she traveled the country. She lived in her van and sang on the streets and in coffee houses. And today, she is a multi-award-winning country and pop artist. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was 15 when he dropped out of school to support his family. Eventually, he too lived in his family van, and he began working comedy clubs to make extra money. Jim Carrey now has 36 featured films, 6 Golden Globe nominations with 2 wins, 8 People's Choice nominations with 4 wins, and is known as an outstanding stand-up comedian. The Golden Globe Award-winning actor and People's Choice, Jim Carrey. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was widely regarded as a B-movie star. Her drama instructors didn't feel she could make it, telling her to try another profession. But she didn't listen to them. She went from being a model to a Broadway chorus girl to just taking minor film roles until she discovered television. And in 1962, Lucille Ball became the first woman to run a major television studio, Desilu Productions. She also has an illustrious movie career as well. Lucille Ball was nominated for 13 Primetime Emmy Awards, winning 4. She received the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award, inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, and into the Kennedy Center Honors. Lucille Ball, a multi-award-winning actress, comedy icon who revolutionized television. Macy's. In his first 7 businesses, R.H. Macy failed before he had any to succeed. His success is actually portrayed in the film classic Miracle on 34th Street, and his namesake is synonymous with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the iconic flagship store on Herald Square in New York City, known as the world's largest store. R.H. Macy, the founder and the brain behind Macy's department stores. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was told by modeling agents that she should consider being a secretary, that she wasn't what the public wanted. She became famous for playing the comic blonde bombshell characters and became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 1950s and the most marketable Hollywood movie star. She went on to star in 30 feature films. A blonde bombshell, a movie icon, a model, and a sex symbol, Marilyn Monroe. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's parents wanted him to have a normal job, so he tried carpentry, but hated it. Was a terrible short-order cook, and waited tables but couldn't open a bottle of wine. He was fired as a software salesman. The failures didn't stop him. He went on to create one of the most illustrious technology companies. He's an entrepreneur and owner of the NBA Dallas Mavericks, who are NBA champions, and a feature on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban. Marriott. Did you know that Marriott started as an A&W root beer stand in 1927 and has now become one of the largest chains of international hotels and resorts with over 560 hotels and 70 resorts? Marriott. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan tried out for the varsity basketball team as a high school sophomore, but was considered too small and was cut. But being cut didn't stop him. He went on to spend 15 years in the National Basketball Association for the Chicago Bulls. He set countless NBA records. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's been inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame and is the current owner of the NBA's Charlotte Hornets. But that's just his pro career. He had an amazing college career that won a national championship. He was a Nike spokesman, an entrepreneur, and has been in several feature films. Number 23 from the Chicago Bulls and the NBA Hall of Fame, the Olympic gold medalist, Michael Jordan. NASCAR. Do you realize that NASCAR originated by speeding from police with bootlegged liquors during Prohibition? It was so much fun and so popular, they later built tracks and they made rules. NASCAR. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He tragically lost 2 sons, and many people considered him a terrorist. But a persistent person, he harmonized a country, and he impacted a world. He became president of South Africa. Nelson Mandela. Nintendo. In 1889, what began as a playing card manufacturer became one of the largest global gaming companies and revolutionized the gaming and technology industry. Nintendo. Nokia. Nokia began as a paper mill on the river Nokianvirta. By 1967, the company tried several small niche businesses, including cab services and love hotels. But in 1970, they developed into a video game company, becoming the most influential in the industry and Japan's 3rd most valuable company. Today, Nokia is a leader in the technology world. Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone dropped out of Yale. Not once, but twice he dropped out of Yale University. His first novel was rejected by publishers, so he moved to Vietnam to teach English, and while there enlisted in the war and earned 2 Purple Hearts. Today, he's one of the most successful movie directors and screenwriters, with 11 Academy Award nominations and 3 wins. You might know some of his work: JFK, Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, Midnight Express. Oliver Stone. And we'll end with one of my favorite stories, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty in rural Mississippi to a teenage mother, had a very rough and abusive childhood, was molested, and became pregnant at 14. Her son died in infancy. She was fired from her first television reporter job and was told she was unfit for TV. That didn't stop Oprah. She went on to launch her own production company, is credited with popularizing and revolutionizing talk shows. In 2013, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She has an honorary doctorate degree from both Duke and Harvard. She's been nominated for 67 major awards, winning 38, including 20 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, an Academy Award, 4 People's Choice Awards, a Tony Award, an Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award, and inducted into the Kennedy Center Honors. Not bad for a person born into poverty. A TV icon, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. Oprah Winfrey. Now, all of these stories tell us one thing. Hashtag never give up. So I want you to keep trying and pushing and struggling. And even if you don't know what your goal is or why you're doing what you're doing, never forget, if it is to be, it is up to me. Think of the Oprah Winfreys of the world. She knew she could make it. Lucille Ball knew that we would all love Lucy. So let's look at our journaling for this week. First of all, as always, list your wins. List the wins that you have experienced today and this week. And then I want you to ask yourself, who is someone who never gave up that has impacted your life? Maybe it's someone like Lucille Ball or Oprah or Nelson Mandela. So who inspires you to never give up? Why? How? And when was the last time you thought about giving up? And why didn't you? And how committed are you to making your dreams a reality? And this week's Bardism comes from Nelson Mandela, who taught us that a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. And let's not forget that gratitude list. List 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. And again, come back next week. I'm going to profile 15 more that'll conclude our 3 series of hashtag never give up. And I want you to set a goal for yourself this week and really think about what you can do to make a difference in your life. So thank you for spending a few moments with me. Go out to my website, successeducator.com. Across the top, you'll see the links to my social media. Click on those, follow me on social media, and of course, visit the Success Store. And remember, what comes to mind when someone mentions your name? That is your brand. So until next week, hashtag never give up. This has been Hump Day Hangover. Ciao.